Greetings, my fellow Virginians. Thank you for joining me on this segment of Al's position on how to best support economic development in the state of Virginia via education. I, I definitely want the most optimum level of education system within the state of Virginia. I am a product of the education system of the state. Okay, and I believe that every Virginian should have access world-class education. So what is world-class education? World-class education to me is education without borders, education that is constantly evolving, education that is relevant in today's new world marketplace. Not talking about new world order, that doesn't exist. No such thing exists in the terms of new world order. But there is a thing called new world market order, in which the capacity of a population is significantly increased as the world advances via, capacity building, may it be online or in-person training, or access to do it yourself and knowledge transfer platforms online via social media. So I've written several books on capacity building. I've written, extensively regarding how the social media platform is being utilized to support economic development worldwide. It's called Face Economics. Look it up. I've also written books and training manuals on capacity building. With that said, I'm going to deploy those strategies that I've learned and basically um, tested and tried that I've learned not just from the U.S. market, but also from overseas as I explore new strategies in capacity building, knowledge transfer, education, and global market relevant, technical, and optimum education resources. Okay, folks. So what I'm going to do for the state of Virginia is basically have multi quarters educational supplementation to what is already available. So, for example, if students are already having to take those uh, 8 classes semesters, we will add to those classes via online learning. But those additional classes will be an option for Virginians and students to partake in. So it's like, an elective class on top of um, what they're already exposed with in their regular traditional classroom environment. So we're going to deploy a very sophisticated market development strategy in which we will teach students how to build their business, incorporate artificial intelligence or mass communication uh, skills into their overall capacity. Most of it is never going to be, something that most of us will be familiar with because our education system, as I see it, will be basically very futuristic in terms of relevancy to the market. As you all know, we no longer live in the traditional industrial society, which we would have to, create things with our hands. In today's reality, in today's marketplace, we would have to create things with our minds. Okay, it's going to be an intellectually driven market society throughout the world and throughout the state of Virginia. Basically, what will take place, and it's already been taking place actually. So we're just going to be piggybacking off of what's already out there in terms of influence in the marketplace. Except we're going to be a few more steps advanced in terms of how we educate our population, especially young Virginians. So that's my position in terms of our, education system. Uh, Most of our, parents and grandparents grew up in a very traditional, very um, somewhat, predestined educational system that is no longer relevant in today's market reality. Their competition back then were their neighbors within a community. Our competition today is global. So our strategy has to be as efficient and as effective as the global marketplace is basically, uh, you know, uh, dictating it uh, to us because those are going to be industries that will support job creation. So, with that said, folks, stay tuned. Please subscribe and like our YouTube channel. Tell your friends about our strategy. And let us know if you have any questions. I'm always glad to answer questions, especially when I interact with the public. I get all sorts of questions regarding my position when I was recruiting some signatures, and I'm going to be back out again recruiting signatures. But I just thought I'd share this, position on my testimonial because this is where I'm going to be talking about certain topics that that are relevant to Virginians, and will basically give you access to how I see uh, my position in the U.S. Senate supporting capacity building. Sorry, that was my baby princess in the background. With this said, looking forward to connecting with you again soon. Yeah, you take care. Bye bye.